Wayde van Niekerk just sent a warning in the 100 meters. 10.10. Most people scrolled right past it. They shouldn't have. That number, posted in a national semi-final by a 33-year-old man with a reconstructed knee and 9 years of interrupted seasons behind him, is not a small number. It is a message. And to understand exactly what that message means, you need to go back to the beginning. Wayde van Niekerk was born on July 15, 1992, in Fontaine, a suburb outside Cape Town, in the Western Cape of South Africa. He was originally a 100 meters and 200 meters runner, not a 400 meters specialist. He ran his first senior 400 meters in 2012 when he was studying marketing at the University of the Free State in Bloemfontein. The shift to the one-lap event was not his own idea. His coach was a 75-year-old woman named Ants Botha, who had spotted something in the way he moved and convinced him the 400 meters was where his future lived. That instinct turned out to be one of the most important decisions in the history of South African athletics. The next 4 years were a straight line upward, with no plateaus and no false starts. He broke the South African 400 meters record in 2014. He won the world title in 2015, breaking the African record in the process, and pushing himself so deep into physical exhaustion that he was stretchered off the track in Beijing and taken to hospital as a precaution. That is the kind of athlete Van Niekerk is, a man who runs until the body physically refuses to continue. In 2016, that same mentality produced the single greatest performance in the history of the 400 meters. Then came Rio. On August 14, 2016, in the Olympic 400 meters final, Van Niekerk drew lane 8, the worst possible assignment in a one-lap race. From the outside lane, you cannot see your competitors. You cannot pace yourself against the field. You run blind, entirely on your own sense of effort and speed. He broke Michael Johnson's world record, which had stood for 17 years. He crossed the line in 43.03 seconds. He took 163 steps to do it, 163 steps from the outside lane, against the full Olympic field, against a record that had stood since 1999, against every piece of conventional wisdom that says the outside lane is a structural disadvantage you cannot overcome in a championship final. 43.03 from lane 8. That time still stands. Nobody has come close to it. What makes Van Niekerk unique is not just that world record, it is the complete picture of his speed across all 4 sprint distances. He remains the only man in the history of athletics to break the 10-second barrier in the 100 meters, the 20-second barrier in the 200 meters, the 31-second barrier in the 300 meters, and the 44-second barrier in the 400 meters. 4 events, 4 barriers, 4 times in history, 1 man. No other athlete alive or in the historical record can say that. Not Usain Bolt, not Michael Johnson, not Carl Lewis, nobody else. 2017 looked like it would be the year the dominance expanded into new territory. At a meet in Ostrava, he ran in the 9-second range in the 100 minutes. At the World Championships in London, he defended his 400 minutes world title and won silver in the 200 minutes, becoming the first South African to win 2 individual medals at the same World Championships. The picture at that moment was of an athlete who was not just the greatest one-lap runner in history, he was threatening records in 3 events simultaneously. The question being asked in athletic circles was not whether Van Niekerk would break more world records. The question was which ones and when. Then came October 7th, 2017. Van Niekerk was playing in a celebrity touch rugby match at Newlands Stadium in Cape Town. A charity event, an afternoon of casual sport, 1 misstep on a pitch, a single moment of misplaced weight, and a twisted knee changed the trajectory of his entire career. His manager Piet van Zyl, who was watching from the stands that day, described it in the plainest possible terms. This whole injury was so innocuous. He sustained medial and lateral tears in his meniscus and tore his anterior cruciate ligament. He did not initially understand the severity of what had happened. It took him several days before he grasped that scans were necessary. By the time the full picture became clear, it was confirmed. 2 months after defending his world 400 meters title, one of the most dominant sprinters on the planet would not be competing again for a very long time. He missed the entire 2018 season. He was unable to defend his world title in Doha in 2019. He ran 6 times in all of 2020. For context, elite sprinters at his level can race 20 or 30 times in a healthy season. 6 races in an entire year is a man trying to remember what competing feels like, not a man competing at the top of the sport. It is a man learning to trust his own body again from the most basic level possible. At the 2022 World Championships in Eugene, he reached the 400 meters final and finished 7th. That alone, making a global final after the years he had endured, was a statement. But 7th place is 7th place. At the 2023 Budapest World Championships, he clocked 44.65 seconds in the semi-final, described as one of the slowest times he had recorded at that stage of a championship. He made the final and placed 5th. The gap between Van Niekerk and the front of the 400 metres field remained real and measurable. At the Paris 2024 Olympics, he made a decision that told you everything about where he stood. He did not enter the 400 metres. He competed in the 200 metres instead, reaching the semi-finals before being eliminated. The 400 metres world record holder chose not to run his own event. That is not a minor detail. That is an athlete making a clear-eyed assessment that the gap between his current form and what a 400 metres Olympic campaign demands was too large to bridge in Paris. The 200 metres was the path of honest recalibration. Which brings us to 2026, and the central question, why the 100 metres? The 100 metres is the event that tells you whether your raw speed machinery is still working. It removes every variable, no lactic acid management, no race tactics, no pacing strategy across 2 laps. It is 10 seconds of pure output. If the 100 ms works, the 400 ms engine can be rebuilt around it. During his earlier comeback from the knee injury, Van Niekerk ran 10:10 for the 100 ms at a local meeting in Bloemfontein and spoke about what it meant directly. It showed me I still have that speed, and I definitely still have the strength that I had before the injury. That gave me a massive boost. That sentence has been said before, in different words, in different seasons. The message is always the same, but here is the thing. The 10.10 semi-final run is not small. It is not a number to scroll past. He has now run 10.10 twice in comeback contexts. That consistency is not accidental. His body interrupted the plan again before it reached its destination, but the speed itself was never in question. The withdrawal is not collapse. It is a managed decision by an athlete who has learned, the hardest possible way, what the cost of ignoring physical warning signs looks like. He learned that lesson in a Cape Town rugby charity match in 2017. He will not make the same mistake twice. Van Niekerk is 33. He ran 10:10 with 0 wind in a national semi-final. He just needs one more race where nothing interrupts the plan before it reaches its destination. The man who ran 43.03 from lane 8 is still inside that frame. The speed is real. The warning has been sent. If you want to be here when that race finally happens, subscribe. Because when Wayde van Niekerk gets one clean run at a championship stage with a healthy body, that is not a race you want to miss.